Hi everyone, we just finished an important meeting related to the FIFA World Cup. We know that there are only 23 days left between now and the kickoff for the first match of the World Cup. It's June 11th, and right here in Houston, Harris County, we're going to have the first match locally on June 14th. It's amazing. I can't believe we're so close to the date. And I want you to know that just as we're seeing actual infrastructure come up throughout our county, throughout our fan fest, even in the stadium, we also behind the scenes, especially when it comes to safety and security and when it comes to continuing the government services that cannot stop while the FIFA World Cup is going on, we are also standing up the necessary infrastructure. So this was a really, really important meeting. We're gonna have some more as we get closer to the date, but this was really the last one that is with all the stakeholders because folks are busy getting ready and making the final preparations. And so in the meeting, we had the county departments that will be most necessary, particularly for anything related to the World Cup. And then we also had the head of the FIFA World Cup Houston host committee here, who's been organizing pretty much everything you see from pitching Houston, Harris County to FIFA and being able to win that bid, to promoting all the signs that you see, all the changes at the airports, all the incredible fan experiences. That's what that committee and those groups have been doing. We had also the safety and security officer. So of our Houston group, the person that's ultimately responsible for the planning of all of that, the head of our Energy Park, which is going to be the Houston Stadium, is renamed by FIFA for that time, and our intelligence lead here at our Harris County Office of Emergency Management, etc. So the meeting had various pieces. First, we started out with that safety and security part. That chief safety and security officer assured me that of the various resources and individuals, staff, that they needed last time we spoke last year, they have filled all those positions, they have obtained all of those resources, and they don't have an outstanding need now. They also have shared with me some of the resources, and of course, unforeseen circumstances can come up. That's always a possibility, but as far as what we can control, as best we can do so, I'm confident that all of these leaders, be it law enforcement leaders or otherwise, are doing the absolute best that they can. Our focus is targeted in both the highest profile areas like the stadium or the fan fest, but also the community as a whole. So we talked about what the presence around Energy Stadium will look like. The sheriff's office will be embedded into the security of the incident, of course, working very closely with the Houston Police Department, with our constables on private security. On our Fan Fest, as you know, this is going to be running for all the time of the FIFA World Cup. It's going to be in the East End. It is just fabulous. And you might have heard that some cities around the country are closing down their Fan Fest because they're concerned about security. So I asked, how can we know that, that our Fan Fest will be as safe as possible, and how come we're not closing ours down? And what they explained to me is we have funds and we have personnel that these other locations do not have. And in fact, the security at the Fan Fest will be just as thorough as the security at the stadium. And so it's going to be a fabulous time. There's already a covering coming up where the huge screen is going to be, we'll be able to watch the games, and there's going to be a soccer field for kids to play all day long, all kinds of, or any number of matches. There's going to be a NASA hub that the folks are going to find just fabulous, and several cooling centers, both there and around the stadium, because of course it's going to be the thick of summer. We also focused on, more broadly speaking, other areas. So, monitoring hotels, restaurants, neighborhoods for spontaneous gatherings, just making sure that all of that is safe. Our Office of Emergency Management will be activated throughout the length of the FIFA World Cup. We're going to be activated even when there's not a game to level 3 activation, and when there is a game, we will be at a higher level of activation. So we will have partners here in the Emergency Operations Center. There will be leads from the various teams represented here, just like we have in a fire or a hurricane. We have the folks ultimately feeding their information to all of us here so that there can be careful communication about what's going on. We'll also ensure that our normal Office of Emergency Management operations continue. So right behind me today, there is actually an ongoing tabletop exercise. The Emergency Operations Center is totally packed with partners that collaborate when there is a hurricane, and they're running through the possibility of having a hurricane or a weather event at the same time that we have FIFA. One thing I want to mention is I know folks have been hearing about Ebola in the news, and I talked to Clay Jenkins, the Dallas County judge, just yesterday. In fact, I had this conversation with him back before COVID hit Houston-Harris County in 2020, because they faced an Ebola outbreak several years ago in Dallas, and so I had a conversation with him about, what he learned, any best practices. So we brought that to the discussion today. Our public health department was there. In fact, Dr. Peter Hotes called in and shared his perspective with us. He had suggested that we have this conversation. Of course, the team was already preparing as well. But what we learned and what I have confirmed is I'm not alarmed. I'm not alarmed. I look forward to welcoming the Democratic Republic of Congo team to their base camp here in Houston. And we're going to be having meetings every few days with our health department, as well as with the experts, and just make sure that nothing has changed. But I'm certainly not alarmed, and I will be there sharing and participating with the team, as will be Dr. Hotes. We plan to go together. In terms of county operations, we're working on continuity of operations plans for all county departments. So think about road closures right now that there's construction or some of the walking paths that are going to be there throughout the World Cup so that people can walk from downtown to the Fan Fest. With a lot of construction, other closures, perhaps keeping employees from going to work, just making sure that those services that we offer downtown continue to be offered. We are working, for example, as well on making sure that residents can find parking during jury duty, because those court cases continue and we need our jurors. So we're planning for how we'll continue to keep county operations up and running and provide services to residents. Our fire marshal's office, our sheriff's office talked about all the specific contingencies they have for events like this one, for example. We've already received federal approval to make sure that we can enforce the law in particular incidents where we might need that, and everything that could be related to an incident that comes up during a big event like this one. There is thorough coordination with the partner agencies in the city of Houston, in the region, and neighboring counties. And the good thing is, unlike some communities, we have extremely strong relationships between all of these first responders. We are more than practiced at working together. I made sure that I understood, if there were to be an emergency, who exactly would I be talking to? Who exactly would be there with me to brief the public? There are a lot of different entities pulling into this, but I want to make sure that if something were to happen, that things are efficient and streamlined, and we're not, meeting people for the first time then. So finally, we went over cybersecurity. Everything that we talk about, our radio infrastructure, for example, is more than ready. 311, which is where people can report any infrastructure issues, but sometimes people call it instead of when they mean to call 911. But our emergency notification system. So let's say something happens that residents need to know about, those push notifications to people who are in a particular area. All of that stood up. All of that is ready to go. So we're making sure that any cyber-related, technology-related issue is also covered. So we are prepared. Harris County is prepared. We're working closely with FIFA. The excitement is absolutely in the air. We can see it with our own eyes. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fun. And I will continue to provide updates leading up to and including during the FIFA World Cup. I almost can't believe that I'm saying those words. So look forward to seeing you guys soon.